Blizzard has responded to the WoW token situation. I haven't read this. Apparently it came out, when? 8 hours ago, so I was sleeping. There's a response! What's the appropriate music for the response? What do I think this response is going to be? I imagine it's going to be a justified response. What's the... we're going to justify this. Let's see. I guarantee this does not have anything to do with the lack of bot control. So this is probably the beat for it.
No, I'm stuck like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yo, like I'm touchdown. I can do my dance like a touchdown. Yeah. No, I'm stuck like I'm touchdown.
I believe the sussiness is the play. I believe the sussiness is the way this is gonna go. It's gonna keep you guys distracted. We need to focus up. It's important. Let's go with war music. All right, let's see. Kymax, what up, player? What are you gonna say? Greetings! We want to take a moment to talk about the WoW token in Wrath Classic. The best way to start is to simply say that this wasn't something we arrived at lightly. Oh. Yes. Tough decision. For the entirety of Classic so far, the WoW Classic team has been very resistant to the idea of adding WoW tokens to any form of Classic in the Western regions. When WoW Classic started in 2019... Who's this guy? Let's make this guy go away. And bang! Yeah. I think something like token felt unimaginable to us. And that continued to be true for us even late into Burning Crusade Classic for a few reasons. In vanilla World of Warcraft, the scarcity of gold is a major factor in how you approach your journey in Azeroth. $1 per 1,000. From saving to get your first mount at 40, to picking and choosing which skills you wanted to learn while leveling so you could afford a new weapon or a piece of armor. Later on at level 60, some form of time investment is needed to maintain a character in an ecosystem where flasks, resistance potions, elixirs are such a major part of the game, and resources are scarce and highly contested. This was true all the way. Are they going with, like, money doesn't matter anymore? Please don't go that direction. Gold doesn't matter anymore, so fuck it. Is that where we're going? This was true all the way through the Burning Crusade, where potions and flasks could represent a significant weekly expense, and the resources required to make them are still quite difficult to obtain. It just didn't feel classic. It felt jarring, out of place, and was antithetical to what most of us wanted to relive about those early years of WoW. However, what we want to do from a design perspective and what we need to do for the good of the community aren't always aligned. And this is one of the more difficult things about maintaining a large online game like Wrath Classic. When we really looked at the state of things in Wrath and how different players approach the game, we saw that we cannot cause the demand for gold to be lower. The impact of illicit RMT is beyond just buying gold. It's the entire black market that revolves around gold sales. The concept of bots gets thrown around a lot, but it's not just bots that fuels this. It's compromised accounts, credit card fraud, scams, hacked clients, and the tools that illicit third parties use to fuel the engine that is the RMT trade. This is really interesting. We hear folks say things like, just ban the bots a lot. That would help though, right? We ban tens of thousands of bots a week. It's not visible to you just how much we do. And that is absolutely another problem in itself. We need to be better at surfacing these actions. More on this later. The truth is, we've never been better and more effective at identifying and actioning malicious accounts, and our game security operations team that handle these actions are iterating and innovating on a near daily basis. While I believe that, it was the very first feedback that I got from the gold boosting people. It's like the bots are everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. They're just non-stop, and they're just constantly going. Unfortunately, in the history of WoW, the same bots, not new bots, like the same ones over and over again. They like have names for them and shit. They like whisper them all the time. Unfortunately, in the history of WoW, the people perpetrating this illicit trade have also never been better at coming up with new methods, schemes, farms, and exploits to work around our efforts. I also do believe that. As much engineering and analytics effort as we put into this, illicit RMT workshops put the same amount in or more, and there are hundreds if not thousands of these workshops out there all working around the clock to develop new technologies and techniques to counter our new technologies and techniques. It's an arms race and it never ever ends. We will never completely beat bots or illicit RMT. What's RMT? Real money trading. People buying gold. It's an unwinnable war as long as there is money to be made by third parties. The ubiquitous nature of this type of thing in online games is an objective fact. It has always been a part of WoW, and every other popular online game for the past 25 years, and it will always be a part of online games going forward. It's frustrating to fight this fight, but we will not stop fighting it. While we cannot completely win the war, what we can do is mitigate the impact it has on the game. Is WoW token the be-all and end-all to solve this? No, but it is a tool. It's just one tool, though, among many. This is clearly a demand. There is clearly a demand for gold for certain types of players, and that demand is only increasing. So we are engaging a tool that we've used before to help mitigate the impact that illicit RMT has on the game. The more tools we employ and the less lucrative we can make it for third parties to do what they do to make a profit, the less likely it is that the new malicious actors enter the RMT scene. And the more likely that existing malicious actors will exit the business. Ultimately, it's taking incremental steps and using a multitude of tools that will reduce how impactful those third parties will be in Wrath Classic and beyond. The value of gold. Circling back to what was mentioned earlier about WoW token feels like a tool we should deploy now, we have to look at the base design of Wrath. Ultimately, this is what convinced us to reconsider the WoW token after resisting and refusing this path for so long. In Wrath Classic, your normal weekly activities are, for the most part, self-sustaining. Buying potions, flask reagents, and other normal necessities of endgame can be subsidized entirely by mostly just playing the game normally. Are they going to blame GDKP here? Doing your usual weekly raid, a few dungeons, or a few dailies a week will not even for the most fervent and well-prepared characters more gold than they would need to maintain themselves. Simply put, gold is more plentiful, and the base design of Wrath minimized the focus on needing to farm to support normal play. When we considered that, we realized that the introduction of a token wouldn't be a temptation for most regular players to buy to help support their usual everyday gameplay. It's simply not impactful to the average player who logs in, raids a few days a week with their guild, does a few dungeons and dailies, and then plays other games in between those activities. There's no friction in that player's experience that would tempt them to buy a token just to keep themselves afloat. However, that's not how most of you are playing the game. As mentioned earlier, we need to improve the visibility around what we do. They're not going to say it, but that's the... Am I wrong here? The implication here is... But that's not how most of you are playing the game. You're all doing GDKP. And the amount of gold you're spending is fucking obscene. And the people who are playing legitimately just can't take part in the way the game is. Which is what my point was in my video, is that's just not what's happening in Classic at all, in any way. If you were playing legitimately, yeah, you're fine. Like I said that. If you're playing with a guild, you have none of the issues, you're not buying gold or whatever, but that's not what people are doing in Classic. Okay, as mentioned earlier, we need to improve the visibility around what we do. We posted some weeks ago that we banned over 120,000 malicious accounts in a large wave, and those large waves that we talk about are a very small portion of the overall actions we take week on week. Using just the past 2 weeks as an example, here are the actions our team took. Total Battle.net account closures, 248,105. Total exploitative WoW account closures, 73,000. This is just in the last 2 weeks, and this is what efforts look like very regularly. Week in, week out, it's an enormous effort, and it's many, many individuals' full-time jobs to do this. This is an issue of sheer staggering scale. We have the tools, and those tools are effective. But the malicious actors come right back with new and different methods every time. All that being said, we need to post these things more, and that's something that our team wants to be able to surface more often. Thank you for reading, and thank you for your feedback. Here's my thoughts. Get fucked. I'm sorry, but you've ruined the spirit of Classic. You cannot in all good faith say this was done for the players. It was done to max your profits. Not only does this paint you as hypocrites, you have damaged the spirit of Classic because the point of Classic was to earn it, not just buy it, even in Wrath. RuneScape actually consults their players on new content and even had polls to introduce bonds, similar in concept to tokens, to old school. All you had to do was have a poll and ask players before doing it. You did not, just like you did not with Dungeon Finder, and decided for the community instead of polling asking on such a feature so massive. Don't try and bullshit players. You did this because your company is run by greedy fucks who need to milk out Classic before it's over. Please, this reeks of we're going to add it to an era, but please trust us. Pathetic beyond relief. I will not be continuing with Wrath as all you have enabled is further intrusion of GDKP and bots. If you introduce the token into Classic era, then I will not be continuing with WoW at all. Thank you, Blizzard. I can finally play Classic. That is just fuel on an already burning fire. You know what it is, though? They kind of have a point. They kind of have a point. You guys have, like, you guys have created an ecosystem that entirely revolves around it making sense to buy gold. Like, that's what you created in Classic. Like, the meta is to just buy gold and buy all your gear. And as we showed in the video, there's a lot of people buying gold. I mean, there's a reason they're banning so many accounts that are botting. I'm not victim blaming. But what do you do if you're Blizzard? First of all, you don't do it like this. You don't just randomly add the token and then fucking come back with an explanation later. A discussion, an understanding, let the players feel involved is the way to go. But, like, from what I'm told, again, I don't play Classic. Is this real? Is this real? Oh, it's an AI response. Lol. They can have a point and still draw the wrong conclusion. Absolutely, yeah. Because there's no way in hell, even to me, right? I'm trying to play middleman here a little bit because I actually think it's disgusting. I want to be clear on that. My real opinion is like, this is clearly a way of skimming off what players are doing, and allowing the legit players who would not risk their account by buying gold access to buying gold, because that's how the game works and they want that gold. There is untold people playing Classic right now who refuse to buy gold because they don't want their account banned, but would absolutely buy gold if it was legitimate so they can take part in these runs that are happening every fucking week, right? That are happening. I know there's one team that's doing 20 GDKP runs a week. The one I spoke to who was very open, there's Zoo, as they were called, who make everything public, so there's no secrecy and they don't get Gallywicks. They do 3 a week. And I said their average payout per player is 70... In fact, I've got the spreadsheet. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this is the amount of gold they've made in Wrath of the Lich King and spent per player. I think this does drop down. I'm just not sure how to do it. So Boxcar here, 812,500 gold. Total gold was here. 21,427,565 gold has been done in their runs. With the average payout per player. So this is per player per run, by the way. This is per run. They do 3 of these a week. Is or the average payout in total. So this is like the average payout that each player has got for taking part in these runs is 728,537 gold. That is paid out to the players so far, and the amount of people who take part in their runs, you can see they even list the items that they bought, is 419 or 418. That take part in these runs. So this is like the legitimate GDKP guild I found. These guys are awesome, by the way. I'm not shitting on them. They keep everything open and public, so people know they're not RMTing or anything like that. Some of these are from my old guild. So they were very open and honest with me when talking about it. But they also told me the dark side, which is what Blizzard's talking about. We talked about it a little bit in the video, is people just paying with PayPal. And having somebody else distribute the gold so nobody else knows what the fuck is going on. all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a very dark place right now if you don't have gold. If you have gold, though, it's pretty free. It's pretty free. And I think Blizzard sees the writing on the wall here. ICC is coming. We haven't even got to the really good items yet. Like, what's the best item that you would buy in Wrath Classic so far? Valnir, which I'm sure people paid a shitload for. Betrayer Axe from Nax, maybe. Some relatively cool trinkets. But ICC comes with Deathbringer's Will, Dislodged Foreign Object. Obviously, you've got, like, I forget the name, like, the big two-handers and shit. Shadowmourne is coming. Like, they know that the economy in Classic right now, in terms of gold, is about to skyrocket. Like, they're getting Trial of the Grand Crusader pretty soon, but after that, it's going to be ICC. And ICC is going to be disgusting with the amount of money that is going to be pulled out of the game. I'm not sure, like, Classic WoW Gold. So this is what the guys pointed out to me, is the token is nowhere even close to, what's the biggest server, Gehenna's? At least EU side. Like, these guys look like such legitimate websites, right? They have ratings on Trustpilot. Gehenna's, Euro... I don't know whether they're mainly Horde or Alliance. 50,000 gold for $2,000. Jesus Christ. $41 per 1,000. That's pretty expensive. That's pretty expensive. And they have all, like, reviews. You will have it in, like, an hour. It'll have... What's that like on the Alliance side? Gehenna's... Same sort of prices. That's Classic, not Wrath. Oh, where's Wrath then? Isn't it the same? I thought Classic just moved on. Am I wrong? All right, Wrath of the Lich King Classic. That's US. Where's EU? Ah, fuck it, doesn't matter. What's the biggest Classic US? Right, have I got a search bar? I would like to do EU. There we go. Wrath of the Lich King Classic EU. Gold. Gehenna's. Wrath of the Lich King EU Horde. 200,000 gold for $300. Oh my god. Oh my. You can't even buy less. It's $3 for 2,000 gold. It's $3. $14 for 10,000 gold. Oh, if you don't have enough time to complete quests or do skinning in game, you should consider buying Classic Gold. So that there is a raid, so that if there is a raid in 30 minutes, you can still prepare yourself by purchasing gold. It's the best place to buy gold. We have been working for 15 years in the game industry and have gotten lots of positive reviews from our customers. We also have a professional team for farming gold to delivery, so you can always buy cheap gold. If you have any questions, you can turn to our 24/7 live chat for help. Where's live chat? Oh, there we go. Fuck. I haven't got a character. What's our character called? What's our character called? I'm not buying gold, no. I'm just curious, like, how good is the response team? Gold Inspector Rafflegagger, yeah. Email. I don't want to. I need a shit email. Oh, we'll send it to the. Let's go to. Man United fan 69 at gmail.com. That guy's gonna get a really weird email. Check stock. Hi, Anna. Hi, Anna.
Just a reminder that you are also missing the mysterious last mastery for the skim. Have fun in the raid
Shut up,
today.
you. Oh, I pressed the button. No, it's gone away. Oh, here's Anna. Wow, that was fast. Would take to get 50,000 gold on Gehennas. EU. How long will I have to wait? I've got a raid starting in 30 minutes. I've got a raid starting in 30 minutes. How quickly can I get 50,000 gold? Just checking. Come on, Anna. You know, I bet Anna's beautiful. We should ask Anna out. She's probably single and hot to trot. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? Guaranteed. Working while watching the stream confirmed. There's no way. He doesn't suspect Man United fan 69. Rafflegagger would never be incorrect. How many messages at once do you think these people are managing? Like, how many people are buying gold constantly? 15 to 20? Probably, right? I think Anna's given up on us. Do you think she suspects? Maybe Anna thinks we're sus. Less now because the WoW token took them down. The WoW token took them down. They've been rumbled, dude. Gold sellers are in shambles. Absolute fucking shambles. Total shambles. I don't think the question is how it works. It's just a platform. Let's see. I mean, this is my question. You don't think they can answer the question? We'll see. We'll put Anna to the test. Anna gave up. Anna, please, don't give up. You've got to believe in Anna. It depends on the seller. Something you want to tell us, Azzy? You've been swiping? You've been swiping, Azzy? Is something you want to tell us? Is something you want to tell us? You seem to have a little bit of a foreshadowing knowledge going on here. The Wild Toy is like 3 times more expensive. It is. Yeah, it's so super dirt cheap. Super. This is Anna. You're a peasant for wanting to buy gold. I do not want to buy gold. The point is, you can, like, it's... Obviously, I think if you were to go through their automated system, I kind of want to do it. How quickly do you get this gold? I could probably just ask someone. There are so many people buying gold in Wrath Classic. Like, how long does it actually take? I have bought gold once. I've told this. All the way back in vanilla. I simply could not afford to play the game anymore. I couldn't afford to raid. I was done. It was really sus. It was really sus. Well, what I had to do... I think I bought 1,000 gold in vanilla. I couldn't afford to raid anymore. I literally couldn't afford to repair my gear. I was a holy priest. I couldn't afford... Oh, Anna's back! Yes! Anna's back, but I had to do a shady deal in Ratchet. I had to go meet a guy in Ratchet. Sorry, out of stock! There's so much bought on the biggest EU server! It will take at least 5 to 8 hours. They've sold out of gold on the biggest EU server. Here, the gift code, code Anna, that will last a long time. You could use it in all your future orders. Nice one, Anna. You are the best. Okay. That is super interesting. They have literally sold out of gold on the biggest EU server that exists. That's how much gold's being bought in that game. That's fucking nuts. That's fucking nuts. I don't think the WoW token had the effect they intended. I don't think the WoW token has worked yet. It's probably going to take time. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's going to take a little bit of time before it really takes effect. That's what it is. That code should be considered used. What should be your video about the WoW token? That should be your video. I mean, I don't want to advertise gold sites more than that, but I mean, it's not like that. They're not particularly hard to find, as you can see. Wow, Anna was... That's really interesting. They literally don't have any gold. Fuck, man. And I didn't ask for that much. I asked for 50k. I wasn't even going all in. I wasn't going all in at all. It looks like they're running a discount right now. Check FF14. I imagine FF14 is like super high up right now because the new crafting stuff's coming, right? Probably. I'm not checking the gold sites. You can check yourself. That's really curious, though. That's really curious. Can't beat him, join him. Well, I don't think this response is going to help anybody. I do think they have a point, but it's a can't beat him, join him mentality, and that sucks. That really sucks. Then about talking to Korean server, you need ID to have an account, and there's almost 0 bots. I mean, there will still be bots, but I don't know, man. Like, this is the meta that's been created on Classic as well. Like, that exists. It's all gold. It's all gold. And all we know is the EU. Has anybody got access to the EU? Has anyone got a Wrath Classics account? Can you check if you can still buy the token on Gehennas? Because you could. When we checked, you could, but US had sold out. The big US servers immediately sold out of the WoW token. We had a screenshot of it. Yeah. So this was the US servers. The WoW token immediately sold out. Well, I mean, the only losers here are the people who wanted that this is what makes me really sad about this. The only losers here are the people who wanted an actual genuine WoW experience. Because quite clearly, there are enough people buying this that massively outweighs those people. And that's the reality. And it sucks. The people who wanted a genuine classic Wrath of the Lich King experience and to just have fun and replay the game they loved, those are the guys that are fucking lost here, because it's all gone away. It's all gone away. How much was the economy? No way Blizz won't backtrack? No, not all. There is no more WoW experience than getting fucked by Blizzard. The thing is, like, as the guys pointed out to me, they've been doing this gold stuff since Classic. They're mega multi-millionaires. And we know that, like, publicly, we know Gallywix was running somewhere about 8 billion gold through their server, but the suspicion is it was at least 4 or 5 times more than that, if not more. But publicly, we knew that it was like 6 billion gold was going through Gallywix. 6 to 8 billion. Yeah. Like, ludicrous amounts. Ludicrous amounts. You have no idea. Like, the guys who are dedicated to running these operations, like, in-game, they're like a mafia. They're like they're so well organized. And sadly, a lot of them who are doing it legitimately. Like, certainly, I worked with Gallywix. You might remember, we gave away Brutasaurs and all sorts. We did a number of sponsored events with Gallywix. And the people we worked with were awesome. They were super good. The problem is there was some really bad eggs in there that weren't getting controlled. And they're the ones who was just selling that gold for money. Because it's a profitable business. It's simple as that. You guys probably don't realize how the really dark underbelly of games like this. I can tell you a little story. During Cataclysm, there was a group of, and I don't say this in some sort of ironic way, this is factually true, a group of Saudis that were having, I assume they were mega millionaires. They were having a competition to see who could get the best geared character in World of Warcraft, despite the fact none of them played the game. And they were paying $2,000 a month to a guild that I knew to pilot their characters through raids. And another one had paid a different guild, and they were paying $2,000 a month to simply have their character boosted through the raid week on week to get the best possible gear. And they never played the characters. They would just link each other the armories, we assume. Like, we didn't even ask questions. Like... They never even played the game. They just wanted to have the best character in the game. That was it. No, Charlotte during vanilla, we had a cartel of about 500 Chinese players spread across 10 guilds, all running GDKP. Yeah. Yeah, folks with too much money. Well, to them, it's like a few pennies, right? It's nothing. It's all a matter of scale. So $24,000 a year to have that service was nothing. It was nonsense. It was like dropping 5 cents on the floor. It was no big deal. They didn't care. There's a vid for you to watch really well about the game. Did a lot of the ideas collapsed in itself because of. Cool. All right, I'll check that. Yeah. People with that much free IRL are just so wild to me. Yeah, they're a different world. It's a different world. There was a really good one of shit. What's it called? The big hotel in London, the famous one, not the Strand. Either way, the big fancy hotel in London, one of the big ones. The Savoy. Yeah, it might have been the Savoy actually. And they got there was a documentary that was like following what goes on at the Savoy, and the bit that caught my eye, because Emma was watching it and it was really fucking tedious up until then. It was like, you know, shitty customers, whatever. The one that really caught my attention, that I paid attention to, was they received an email that a Saudi oil prince was maybe coming to the hotel. Not confirmed, but he may have to stop in London for, I think it was 4 days, on his way to something else. So they got the heads up saying he might be here on like May 13th for like May 17th. Something like that. But he had certain requirements that they needed to adhere. So what the guys did, his management team, is they booked 2 floors of the hotel. 2 entire floors. Not like 2 rooms. 2 whole floors of this hotel in London. The most expensive hotel in London, I believe. The upper floor was for the women, because the women are obviously peasants and shouldn't be near the men. So they booked them. The top floor was for all the women that would be coming, for the entourage. The other floor was for all the men. They also sent somebody ahead of time to inspect it and decided the bathrooms weren't good enough. So the Saudi oil prince also paid to have all the bathrooms on both floors renovated to the style he liked and to be put back to the way the Savoy likes them afterwards. So they got all the builders in to change all the bathrooms to the way he likes it. The other requirement was that he does not do jet lag. And so the hotel had to operate at his living hours based on Saudi time. So they had to change all the structure of the hotel to be when he would have breakfast in Saudi Arabia, that is when breakfast would be on and available to him. It doesn't matter if it's like 4 a.m. here or whatever. It didn't fucking matter. That's how it's going to be. This is when they're not confirmed to be coming. He might come for 4 days. Maybe. He did eventually end up coming. But like, it was also a case of that could have all happened. And the hotel was quite on the point with it. It's like, we're doing all this construction. We're doing all this work. And if he doesn't turn up, then we're just going to put it all back again. Back to how it used to be. It was just ridiculous. That's just like so absurd. So fucking absurd is the way it goes. So it was one of those. I would do the same if I had the money. I just can't imagine that ever entering my head. I've never given a shit about any of that stuff, and it's not because of money. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. But it's a different world. It's a different world. Either way, we're kind of off topic, but yeah, this is not the response the community was looking for, right? This just feels like can't beat him, join him. Is what it feels like. I'd rather see bots than a token that incited the purchase of gold. So by your logic, you put in this post, if a lot of people cheat in a game like Counter-Strike, Valve should give all the players wall hacks and aimbots to counter the problem. The token is the reason I started my Wrath journey and am able to play for free. Thank you, Blizzard. Now I'm not being locked on retail. I can now switch between the two. People seem to not understand what the token does. You buy the token for real money and someone has to buy it from you for gold. He gains gold. You lose gold from the economy. See, you just don't understand how it works. As a day one classic player, I can tell you the majority of the player base is with you. Nobody in my guild's going to change their gameplay due to the token, so I guess it's the same for everyone else. People are just mad. I don't expect so many bans. You guys are doing a hard job. At the end, we want to see results. I don't think people in the organized guilds aren't going to be affected by this. This is like when I found out what gear score was. I was like near the end of near the end of Wrath of the Lich King when I was ever asked what my gear score was. I had no idea. Like, how the fuck do I even find that out? I didn't pug. I always played with my guild. So I was like, oh, I could jump into a Grand Crusader because I was free one afternoon. And somebody asked me for my gear score. I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. He just inspected me and was like, oh, okay, you're fine. Yeah, it's so good. It had been around for months, but it never entered my life. We ban tens of thousands of bots a week. As a guy who was actually curious enough to add bots to my friends list and follow them around after reporting them, I find this curious. I've seen bots stay in the Blasted Lands for literal months, dungeon bots since Classic through TBC until they went MIA, and they're incredibly easy to spot. Does this team, quotation marks, happen to just be an automated system? Because it sure doesn't look very intelligent the way it does its job. One person could literally clear out a server faster and then repeat for the new bots the next day. I know I'm simplifying it, but I refuse to believe an actual person with time, experience, and a few tools can't identify and cleanse servers faster than what you've been doing so far. Hire a team, assign people to different groups of servers, and with your time is a problem. But you're right, you'll never defeat it until it's not profitable. You can't throw if it's an arms race that never ends because you've never really put enough resources into trying in the first place. You've got the capital to hire the manpower to do so, which might not be profitable once you start, but with the issue more under control, who knows? We all know we can trace gold being sent around, so when we also know you could have hit gold sellers' stashes. But you can't have tried. I refuse to believe that you're incompetent. It has to be greed. There's no other explanation. Well, this is what I heard from the people I spoke to at the GDKP people. They're like, the bots are just very clearly there. They're super obvious. And they get reported, and nothing happens. So it's that when you see that as a player, it's really disheartening when you're told, "Hey, we've banned all these accounts," which I've no doubt they've done. I'm not saying they haven't done, but when you see the same people just the same characters constantly doing shit, what a bummer. Oh well, is what it is.